Apple's iOS 17 is about to come out, if not already out on your phones. So when you've downloaded it, you might be wondering what's different on Apple CarPlay. Well, this guide today is going to show you everything that's different. In fact, there's quite a few things that I found as I've been using it for the past few weeks. And the last one on this list is a long time coming. Let's get started at number 1. So guys, this is iOS 17. Now immediately you'll kind of look at it and think, it looks pretty much the same. But if you dig deeper into the settings, you'll find a few little hidden tweaks and changes just to make it that little bit easier when you're driving around, of course, on the road. So number 1 is a subtle thing. Now this is when you text someone, you'll actually see the buttons are slightly bigger than before. Now this does make all the world of difference because of course there are varying different touchscreen sizes in cars. That's if you use a touchscreen, but you'll see that these buttons are actually easier to press. So let's text someone now. Text Dad.
What do you want to say to Dad?
Hello, just testing the iOS 17 new features.
Your message says, hello, just testing the iOS 17 new features. Do you want to send it or change it?
Now I'm going to press cancel on that there, but you notice those big buttons, I'll put them back on the screen here, so see they're nice and clear, nice and easy to press, and you actually see it kind of fades, just a bit like iOS normally. So, subtle thing, what about number 2? So at number 2 are new wallpapers. Now if you're plugging your phone into a new car for the first time, this is what you'll see. So you'll see this kind of new red, purpley, blue wallpaper, which I think I'm going to keep it on because I actually really like it. Now the other wallpapers are the same but tweaked slightly. So if you go into settings and then go into wallpaper, these are the wallpapers shown here. Now kind of from the first glance they'll look exactly the same. Again, this is subtle changes, I know, but let me show you the iOS 16 on the left and iOS 17 on the right. You can see the slight differences in the kind of gradients on the colours. I'm going to stick with the top left one because I quite like that one. Now at number 3 is a slight improvement to the voice assistant. So I remember when I watched the WWDC 2023, so that's the Worldwide Developers Conference that Apple do every year, they introduce a few changes to the voice assistant. I'll put the name up on screen, so I don't want to trigger everyone's phone. Well, not quite yet anyway. But yeah, basically, instead of saying, hey, the word, you can now just say the word. Siri. And there he is, like that. Or she, depending on which voice you've got set. But yeah, you don't need to say the hey anymore. You can just say the word. I won't do it again, because I may have just triggered everyone's voice assistant, so I do apologise. But yes, very useful. You can now, and I actually don't think before you could actually just say it. So notice I didn't actually press a button. Before in this particular car, you have to hold the button to activate it. But yeah, you can just say it now, which is pretty cool. And speaking of the voice assistant, there is actually a setting I've noticed in settings that wasn't there before. And this directly relates to what Siri looks like when you give it a command. So for example, if we go onto settings, then go into Siri and suggestions, and at the very bottom of this page, there'll be a thing that says show apps behind Siri. So let me show you what this looks like with it off. So say we're navigating somewhere on the sat nav, text Dad.
What do you want to say to Dad?
So here, notice the kind of whole background is out of focus. Now let me enable that setting. Text Dad.
What do you want to say to Dad?
And that will come up this way, so you can still see the map behind the kind of thing you're doing in front of it, so it's like an overlay. Very useful if you're navigating somewhere on the sat-nav. Now guys, at number 5, this is SharePlay. Now this is going to show my age slightly. I remember on my first car I had a tape player, and it also had, most importantly, an aux cable. So everyone in the car, all my friends, were able to plug in their iPods and MP3 players and basically play music to the screen. Now obviously it's nowhere near what this is today. I just said it had a tape player, so that kind of says it in itself. But yeah, basically, SharePlay is the digital version of that kind of experience. So it's accessed in Apple Music, and then when you're on the now playing screen, have a look on the top right here, and you can see this little new symbol. It's like a picture of a person with kind of waves coming off of it. So if you tap on that one, this is how you use SharePlay. So you grab an additional phone, scan the kind of QR code on the right there, and then you approve them on the screen. And then basically all your passengers in the car can play music together without you having to, you know, hand the phone over or anything like that. They can use their own phones and seamlessly play music through the car. Now that's pretty cool. So guys, at number 6 is Crossfade. Now Crossfade annoyingly isn't actually on the Apple CarPlay interface, it's only found on your phone. So if you grab your phone, and I'll beam this up to the screen here so you can see. So just head over to Settings, scroll down the page till you find Music, and in here you'll see Crossfade. Basically you can swipe this left and right like this and choose the duration. I think the default was 4 seconds, but I opted for 6, and this does actually work through CarPlay as well. I did test this earlier, so yeah, Crossfade is another new one. And finally guys, number 7 and number 8. Now these are both for Apple Maps, so improvements to Apple Maps all around just to make it even better than before. Now number 7 actually relates to if you own an EV. Now don't worry if you don't own an EV, this will be good to hear for the future. And of course number 8's the best one in this list. So number 7 relates to EV charging capability on Apple Maps. So traditionally when you buy an electric car, the manufacturer who sells that car, so say for example you buy, I don't know, a Mercedes for example, sadly this isn't electric though, but say you buy a Mercedes, they will typically encourage you to use the inbuilt sat-nav on the car because it can work out all the kind of routes and charging and things like that, just help you find all the charge points. Now Apple have started to adopt this as well. Now sadly this isn't available on all car manufacturers, so I'll put the ones up on screen that I've managed to find, but there of course will be more because it's always evolving and growing. But it's so good to see Apple doing this just to help kind of make that change just in case you wanted to go electric. And finally, number 8. Now I did say number 8 was the biggest one on this list because, well, it kind of is. So if you use Apple Maps, you're going to love this feature. Now this is offline maps. And before anyone says, yes, I know Google Maps have had this for ages. I know, because I live down in the south of the UK and there's this small section called the New Forest. Well, it's actually quite big, but there's kind of literally no signal there. So if you ever go there, well, yeah, you just won't have maps. But I've been hiding this in plain sight. Look, Apple Maps is on the screen, and on the top right here, I don't have any phone signal. Now, I've obviously set that up on purpose, so I've downloaded the maps in advance. But yeah, look, Apple Maps offline. Wow, never thought I'd see the day. But yeah, obviously this just encourages people to use Apple Maps or Google Maps. Of course, all these have different features, and you can, of course, choose your favourite one. But yeah, now that Apple Maps has offline maps, that's a good contender right there now, because it has got better and better over the years. So guys, that is Apple CarPlay in a nutshell on iOS 17. Now, I have actually covered a few topics on Apple before, so if you want to see the full playlist of all the Apple things I've covered, click this little box here, as that one's going to take you straight to all the Apple videos that I've done in the past, and of course in the future as well. Let me know what you guys want to see. Thanks so much for watching guys, see you soon.